for joining me today on Ladies, Leadership and Logistics. Please tell us more about yourself and your journey.
Hi, Ayushi. Thanks for this time. I'm very grateful to be here with you. Well, about me, I have more than 12 years, like 15 years experience in supply chain. I started working in demand planning and but many years, like 10 years only looking demand planning. And then I changed to a new role, new challenge to know and get deeper in supply chain. I started working in logistics. And I started working in a tool company, Stanley Black& Decker, and then moved to Halion. Halion is a pharmaceutical and over-the-counter products and consumer healthcare products. And I've been here like 4 years and, till now.
Wow, that actually sounds like a very beautiful and cute journey. And the fact that you started off in the sector itself, what made you choose the sector of supply chain to begin with? Because most of the guests have just accidentally gotten it. So, what made you choose it?
Uh, for me too. It was an accident and a misunderstanding for me because I was looking, I'm economist as my baseline career in college, and I was looking for a second job. I started working in a commercial team in a textile company, but I'm not, I find myself in the commercial team. So I started working something more aligned to my career that is economy. So I find out an announcement that they are recruiting a demand planning analyst,
Yes.
and I saw in that moment, okay, demand planning could be with planning, data,
Economics.
numbers,
Yeah.
analytics, statistics. So that's for me.
Oh.
Okay, I apply, I get the job, but when I start, I
Yeah.
find out that is a role in the supply chain area, and in that moment, also that was a new concept to me. What supply chain? I didn't know, but I really loved the experience because in that job, in my first job in supply chain as a demand planning analyst, I learned a lot, that all the foundations, all the bases for where I am now. So yes, I love the experience. I love this misunderstanding for me in the announcement, and
Yeah.
I love it. I learn a lot in my way.
I'm so glad to know that such a small difference led to such a big, amazing change in your life. And I would love for our audience to know what exactly is demand planning from someone who has been there in the sector.
Demand planning is that, like the name says, it's you have to plan the demand, make the forecast, but it's not only that simple. You have to go deeper, look for more input for your process. You will not only have to look for data and statistics, historical data. You have to make a work in a consensus with commercial teams, marketing teams, the general manager, the finance team. It's demand planning is part of a big process like it's the S&OP, sales and operations, or now most known is IBP,
Yeah.
that is an integrated business model, but the demand planning is the basics. How you build the forecast, the
Yeah.
assumptions you make, and the way of work you have to do this.
Definitely. And as you said, you have to make forecasts. That's like making predictions. And I'm super sure that involves a feeling of uncertainty when you're dealing with something like that. So, how did you develop that confidence when you were making forecasts for the sector?
Well, all demand planners could tell that we should have a crystal ball to plan everything, but no, you have to manage our entirety. You have to predict 5 years in advance of sales, but you have to work with this process, this integrate process. You have
Yeah.
to work with assumptions, likelihood ratios, and the most important for this process is you have to make a consensus. So you are going to use your data for a baseline, the historic data, but you have to make these assumptions not only for wishes of the company or goals for the internal goal for the company. You have to adapt and include external information, like for example, demographic data or GDP ratios for the country or the sector where the company you work are uh, are developed. No, and also the livelihoods, the radios, and scenarios, and finally the consensus.
Wow, that actually is very interesting and very informative. Thank you for making us understand what exactly is the role like. And I would say that it is definitely something that requires a lot of practice for sure, and a lot of understanding of the data. And as you said, analytics. So, for someone who is just starting up in this sector and wants to explore this side, what are some of the important, say, data analytics skills that we should develop?
Yes, I think the critical thinking is very important, adding to the analytic view that you are going to have, and it's very important you can be an organized person and very understanding of the numbers. For me, I love the numbers. I love the data. I love working with data. Until now, my team can tell you that I'm very passionate about the data and the numbers because I'm a believer that information is a found of power for you. And you can challenge any situation, um, face any challenge also in your daily with data, and it's very important to have this critical thinking and manage the data, organize your data. When I start, I used to work with an Excel, and then the dynamics, then the macros, but now you have BI and many other systems that help you to organize your data.
Definitely. And that actually sounds like just something that we have imagined it to be like, starting with Excel and then you keep on expanding and learning more in terms of analysis and data. And I feel now is the perfect time to say that we are in the era of technological expansion and growth where we now have AI to support us. So, how exactly do you think should we combine AI and analytical skills to keep ourselves ahead in the sector?
In the sector, and for me, in my daily days, the AI is my friend now. Is my partner in crime. I use very much in my daily, for example, for statements, for the letters or punctual questions. With a right prompt, you can make a lot.
Yeah,
And yes, and for and Copilot, for example, Copilot in my daily meetings helps me a lot to take the notes, to take the tasks,
yeah,
and for being an organized person, that helps a lot because you can focus on your meeting and not be taking notes. No,
true.
Copilot helps for that, and for me and in my actual role, it's very important to have that kind of help in my daily day.
Definitely. And can you name some of those amazing apps or say AIs that you are making use of other than compiler, as you said, to make your life a little easier?
Oh, okay, Copilot. I use ChatGPT, and in for example, for my work with the accountable team, the account team, the finance team, they use robots to yes, they use robots to match data. For example, if you have to match an invoice with a document of proof of delivery, or for an okay, the data for the invoice process, the robots can match all, can
That
match
is so cool.
invoice with the proof of delivery document. And if you, for example, is not matched on correct, robot say makes a report.
Yeah.
No, and yes, the financing sent to us, and we have to deal and work with that. But it helps to reduce the time for this work, because in the past this has to be manually, or maybe with an Excel, with some algorithms, manual algorithms. But now these robots, these machines helps a lot.
Wow, that actually sounds like just the perfect use of AI and using it as your friend rather than fearing it, I would say. And the fact that you're implementing it and staying up to date with it is making a lot of difference, I'm sure. Yeah. For us, I would say
Yes.
that right now, being the freshies in the sector, we do feel that we will have a lot of responsibility to ensure that the AI is combined with the time. Like it is blended so beautifully that it's just a part of the whole system then.
Yes, the AI, as I said, going to be your partner, but AI not could be all. No,
Definitely.
AI is a helper for you, is part of your team, is part of your team. It would make easy your daily
Efforts.
work, but it's not all. You have to get with the AI the right prompt, and you have to use in the right moment. No, as I say, it's not all. I am a believer that the data and the critical thinking is the basics for you, for everyone.
Yeah. True, and that definitely makes a lot of sense. I would say the human touch is always needed. Like we were discussing with my professor regarding our master thesis where we were supposed to like conduct research and stuff. And she's like, now since last year we have included a new clause for AI. So you can use AI, but you need to ensure it's done in an ethical and correct way because there are times AI does help, but there are times the data is very wrong, the data is incorrect, or it's just not backed by any sources. Like it would just randomly throw a number but you don't know where it's coming from, so you have to ensure that you do your research of what AI is doing, like just cross check it.
Yes, yes. AI is going to reduce your time, but
Yeah.
AI is not going to do your job.
Definitely, you'll always need
Mhm.
human intervention to ensure it functions correctly. True.
Yes.
And talking about the new generation, us, what exactly are the essential skills in the sector that we should develop so that we can not just survive but excel in the sector the way you are doing it right now?
It's very important in the sector, in supply chain at all, to be a resilient person and also adaptable to change. It's very important because all the companies, uh, making change every day, every year. You are going to face new challenge, and you have to be very resilient and adaptable to change. It's a very important skill that people who wants to be in supply chain, and I think in now in any in any area, should have these abilities.
Definitely. Thank you. That's actually very informative and helpful. And talking about our sector, what do you think are some of the misconceptions that people have? And how do we function differently? Like, how do we ignore those misconceptions?
Many people think that supply chain is a support area, but it's not only a supply area, it's a strategic area. For example,
True.
as I told with demand planning and S&OP and IBP is the main process in a company that runs the numbers and helps to the general manager, the finance team to take
Sales team,
decisions
yeah.
take
Definitely.
decisions about growth, about investment, about anything in the company, and also the operations and logistic area in warehouse distribution, all the import, the inbound process. You can generate strategies that are going to create savings, and the savings will be are critical for a company with a P&L, because they are going to impact directly to the profit for the company. So the supply chain area is an strategic area, not only a support area.
Definitely. And I love the way you actually explained it further, making everyone understand how it is not a supportive area. And I feel that COVID did help us bring supply chain into the limelight, making people understand what an important aspect of the whole community it is. Like, it's one of the most important sectors that is sometimes overlooked because of how smoothly it functions, I should say.
Yes. I start working in my current job
Hmm.
in COVID. And I take the role of the customer supply chain lead for a pharmaceutical company. And the main product we sell are critical for that time. So we have to run. We have to for example in 2021 the COVID appears in some months, then no, then again. So you have to sell products with a demand like flat, but then
Yeah,
increase like
randomly,
200%,
yeah,
and there is no safety stock that can help. So you have to go and create the stock,
yeah,
talking with the sites, with the supply planning team to sell to send to you more products. And yes, in that era, the COVID era, supply chain came more relevant
definitely.
to
Everyone's
all
noticed as well, yeah. And I feel
yes.
that your task was so important during that time because it was people were literally stocking things in their own house because they were so unsure what would be needed next. Like, it started off with like ensuring you have proper supply of food, and then it went to being literally till hand sanitizers and masks and even toilet papers for that matter. So you just
Yes.
don't know what to expect then. And in that time, the companies ensured, amazing companies are like yours ensured that all the supply and demand was met correctly, which is so important because had that not been there, how would we function?
Yes, it's very important, and also a change about starting with COVID and in that impact in logistic is the mindset that a logistic have. For example, uh, we are now looking more into the customer, to the consumers, to be there, to be in the point of sales, and that changed some KPIs that we used to manage. We used to
Yeah,
manage, for example, the fill rate or OTIF, on time in fulfillment, to make sure about a correct and a right service level. But
yeah,
now we are going further, for example, to measure on shelf availability.
True.
the products that are in the point of sales and in the right quantity, in the right moment. And that's a change that COVID brings to supply chain.
True. That actually sounds like just the perfect explanation that I was looking forward to as to how it's such a important sector that is needed for proper survival of companies. And thank you, Solange, for bringing it to our audience's notice as to the sector's importance. And I would love to ask my last question. What is that one amazing piece of advice that has helped you not just survive but thrive in the sector that you would want an 22-year-old girl, female, to know, because yes, it is still a male dominated sector. So what helped you thrive here?
You have to be resilient, as I said, and adaptable to change, and
Yeah.
also that you should have empathy. Empathy is a soft skill that it is not common that someone says in a supply chain, but it's very important because in supply chain you are going to work with many areas, many stakeholders, not only internal. You have to deal with vendors, with suppliers, with 3PLs, with careers, and with a commercial team, with a general manager. And it's very important to have this empathy. Empathy uh, will help you to communicate effectively also. And that are very important skills that you have to manage in your daily days and will help you a lot. You can in your path you will are going to learn more about that, but if you have these basics and this attitude, you are going to do great. And also the critical thinking and the analytic view always.
Thank you, Solange. That actually sounds like an amazing piece of advice coming from someone who has been there, done that, and knowing that you are the amazing, passionate person for analytic skills, especially. I'm sure that it has helped you grow a lot in the sector. And I hope we are able to build amazing analytic skills, which will help us grow in the sector as well. So thank you for your amazing piece of advice and joining me today on Ladies Leadership and Logistics.
Thank you to you, Ayushi, for this opportunity. As I said, I'm very grateful to be here with you. I love your job. I was checking some of your videos, and you also a very resilient girl.
Aw, thank you. That's very kind of you. I hope that I can learn more and more from amazing people like you who are out in the sector, ready to share your experiences and amazing learning skills that you have developed over the period of time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.